Let's go. All y'all back there, everybody back there. Let's go. You ready?
Turn down for what?
Let's go.
Turn down for what?
Turn down for what? One last time. All right. Now I need you to send a message to everyone who said you can't do it. Everyone who said it's not possible. Everyone who's trying to turn you down. Turn down for what? They're trying to turn you down. They want to bring that volume down. Don't let them do it. One last time. Let's go. Run it back. Let's take it to a 10. Last time. Here we go. Run it. Last time. Last time. Last time. Let's go.
Fire it loud, another round of shots. Turn down for what?
Let's go.
Turn down for what?
Yes.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
That's right.
Turn down for what?
Thank you, guys. We will not turn down. No way. Thank you, guys. Does anybody want to know? Does anyone want to know? This is my speech from last night. Does anybody want to know how you can earn millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in this style of marketing? Well, give me a few minutes. Give me a few minutes. Let me take you on a journey. Thank you, guys. Please, just grab a seat. You're like, no, we're up. Listen, guys, I want to take you back to yesterday. Let me take you back to yesterday. Yesterday, Ashley and I got recognized for earning $10 million in 4 years through the exact same compensation plan as everybody else. We weren't given anything. We didn't have anything placed underneath us. How does that happen? How does that happen? Let me tell you how it happens. Let me tell you where it begins. Let me tell you where it starts. When I was 18 years old, I got started in this industry. I got started with a company that was in the telecommunications-based industry. In my first month, I signed up 1 customer. How many customers? You know how many teammates I had? 0. Was I a rising star? Did I get my product for free? 1 customer. In that compensation plan, what happened was you signed them up, they used it for a month, and then they paid you the following month. So you waited 2.5 months to get your first paycheck. How many customers did I get my first month? The comp plan stated, well, I'll go there in a second. That 1 customer was my high school girlfriend's mom. You know why? Because my parents said no, who were the first people that I talked to. I came home, first thing. Now listen, I'm the youngest of all the children. When you're the youngest of all the children, you're a freshman in college, and I played local junior college baseball, so I stayed at home. There was only one rule: come home alive. That was the only rule, right? When you're the third boy, how many parents out there have like 3, 4, 5 kids that are out of the house already? I was the last one. There's like, just don't call us for bail money. Come home alive. So I went and drove 2.5 hours. To my first presentation, I drove 2.5 hours back. And when I got back, the lights were on in the house at midnight. Now this is weird because my dad gets up at 4 or 5 in the morning to go to work every day. He goes to bed at 9:30, 10. For him to be up, waiting up for me at midnight, there's an emergency. So I can see through the front door, and I can see that there's lights on in the living room, and I can see the TV flickering, but I can't make eye contact because they're around the corner. So I open the door, put one foot in, and my dad yells from the couch and around the corner, "Don't even think about it." I said, "Think about what? I'm not even in the door yet. You don't even know what it is." He yells back from around the corner, "I don't care what it is. You're not doing it." I said, "Well, I'm 18 now. We still can't see each other." He says, "Oh, yeah? Well, not underneath this." You nailed it. That was my first interaction. I didn't even get to say the script. I didn't even get through a first sentence. Boom! Rejection. Rejection to the highest level. So they weren't going to be a customer. Signed up my high school girlfriend's mom. She did $2 in long distance phone usage. The comp plan said you get 1% of that $2. I have the lowest first check in the history of any network marketer that I've ever met in all of my years doing it, and nobody can show me a smaller first check because 1% of $2 is how much? My first check was 2 cents. How about yours? And it was my third month in business when my first check showed up, and it was how much? The stamp was 30 cents. The envelope was 5. The printing paper was a few cents. The man hours to put the envelope in the check together. My check was 2 cents. There's only one possible way a person can have a smaller check, and it'd have to be what? I haven't met that person yet. Because it's interesting because some people state that my wife and I are some of the top networkers in the world. But they don't know where the top networkers in the world started. They only see where we ended. I started with a check that was what? And an angry landlord named my father that I didn't pay rent to. That 2-cent check, most of you would have quit because that's day 75. I looked at that check, I said, "Oh my God, it works." True story. You know why? You know why? Because they did what they said they were going to do. They said, if you get a customer, we'll pay you on it. Everyone else said it was pyramid scheme. They used those words a lot in the mid-90s when I got started. It was very looked down upon before it became more socially acceptable. "Oh, that's stupid. You're getting scammed. You're going to get ripped off. They're never going to pay you." I was like, never going to pay me? It's 2 cents right there, buddy. Take it back. Take it back. All of you, take it back. Yeah. "Oh, I was showing it off. Oh, never going to get paid?" Yeah. How about that? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. The next month, I got my second check. Second check, 12 cents. That's my 5th month in business. Everyone else would have quit because that's what most people do. Most people quit. Me, I looked at the check, 600% growth. The company did what they said they were going to do. If my check was 12 cents, it's because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Or I did exactly what I was worth at that moment in that company, which was 12 cents. And then shot to $2, then shot to $12, then shot to 20-something dollars. But I do remember very specifically my 9th month in business and my 6th check. Ready for this? I just bought a fax machine and I still live at home because you had to fax in all the orders. And I was proud of faxing in those orders, even if there was only one a month or something like that. And I opened the check, and my dad looks down. We're at the counter. He was on my right. I was on his left. I have a extreme photographic memory. And he goes, $27, huh? Congratulations, 5 more of those, and you can pay for the fax machine that you just bought. My 9th month in business, I've now made a grand total of about $40 to $45. How many of you have been with us 9 months or more? Raise your hand. How many of you have made more than $45? Raise your hand. You're now currently doing better than me. It took me 2 years. How many years? 2. To become what's the equivalent of a regional director in this company. Regional directors, raise your hand if it took you less than 2 years. Actually, let's do it again. Raise your hand if you're a regional director or above. Keep it raised if it took you less than 2 years. 5 hands went down. You are all currently better than me. It took me 3 years to get to national director level income, 4 years to get to $10,000 a month, and 5 years to get to $25,000 a month. And on that journey, on that 5-year journey to retirement, or full-time networking, or freedom, everything you could ever imagine happened. Everything you could ever think of happened. Every roadblock, every negative person, every quitter, every liar, every cheater, it all happened. Your story is not unique. What's happening to you in your life right now is not unique. What's happening to your business right now is not unique. Do not be a victim. Do not allow being a victim rob you of your future. Not everybody wants to make millions of dollars, and I've accepted that. Today and yesterday, we have covered every aspect of the conversation. Yesterday, did we handle the transformations pretty well? I mean, I feel real good that we handled the transformations yesterday. I feel real good. We talked to people that want to be a BMW qualifier, and that's it. I feel real good about people that want to be rising stars. I feel real good about people that we talk to people that want to be national and presidential, people that just want to lose weight or gain muscle mass. Right now, I want to tell you what it takes to make millions of dollars. And not everybody wants to do that. If it was possible, and you believed it was possible, how many of you guys would gladly accept the income? The reason why most people say, I don't want that, is they don't believe it's possible. That's it. No, okay, you don't want that. You don't want more for your family? You don't want more options? You don't want more accessibility? You don't want more, you don't want better things for your children? You don't want more time? You don't want to be able to give back more, donate more, tithe more? I don't believe that story. The story I believe is that you don't believe it's possible. And it might be, I don't believe it's possible for me, aka you don't believe it's possible for you. That's it. That's the only thing. So then we start creating these lies, and we lie to ourselves. Well, you know, I'm this, and they don't know my situation. This happens to me, and that happened to me when I was this, and this happened to me when I was there, and this is happening to me right now. And they don't know what it's like to be me. They don't know what it's like to go through this situation. They don't know what it's like to be a single mom. Single moms make some noise. You can ask them if I don't get it, but they do. You don't know what it's like to have a bunch of kids. If you got a bunch of kids right now, make some noise. They do. Well, I'm too young. If you're Gen Y in the room, make some noise. They do. Well, I'm too old. If you're a baby boomer in the room, make some noise, please. And better be louder than Gen Y. They do. Well, you don't understand. You know, I come from a different family. If you came from a family that didn't have money, make some noise, please. They do. Well, you don't understand. I'm overeducated. How many of you guys got a degree in this room? Make some noise, please. Well, that's because I'm undereducated. If you don't have a degree, make some noise, please. Shall I keep going with your lies and excuses? Oh, well, you don't understand. I'm from a different ethnic diversity. If you're diverse in this room, make some noise, please. Well, you know, you don't get it. And I could go on and on and on and on and on. The reality is, we've got to stop with the lies. If you want to be a multimillionaire, you've got to stop making up lies. Now, we call them excuses because they're nicer, but an excuse is nothing more than a well-planned lie. That's it. And the person that we lie to the most is not others. The person we lie to the most is who? Ourselves. And it's things like, I can't do it. That's a lie. I'm not good enough. That's a lie. Or I'm working as hard as I can. Lie. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Lie. I said exactly how you told me to say it. Lie. I'm going to be on my challenge every single day. Liar. So some of them are personal attacks against yourself because you self-defeat, you self-sabotage. And some of them are excuses of why you didn't do stuff because you want to protect yourself. So some of you guys build yourself down. You take yourself down. I can't do this. I can't do that. And some of you guys put this wall up of excuses so you can protect yourself. I'm busy. Oh, you're busy? You're busy? Anybody in the room busy? Make some noise. We all have been there in one way, shape, or form. I don't have any money. Join the club. I moved from Michigan to California when I was 20 years old. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to California with one other guy because there's nobody in San Diego, and I'm going to take it over. My brilliant uplines sit me down. They sit me. I drive 2 hours to meet with them. They sit me down. We want to take you to dinner. We want to have a chat with you before you go. You know what the opening sentence was? Listen, Nick, we know you think you're moving to California and you're just going to take the place over. That was what they said to me. I was like, wow, this is one hell of a pep talk, boys. Let me write this down. What never to say to someone in your team. At the end of this pep talk at TGI Fridays, they didn't even buy my dinner. Top producer for them. You asked me to dinner. I moved to California, me and one other guy. $2,000 in the bank account, everything I owned, U-Haul, let's go. Didn't have a place to live when we got there. U-Haul broke down 37 miles outside on a 2-day trip. Everything we own in the U-Haul, they got to take the U-Haul with everything we own and bring it to U-Haul. We don't got any stuff or anywhere to live. For days, it takes us to go get our stuff out of the back of a U-Haul that's in the broken down U-Haul place. And luckily, we crashed with we didn't even know the person we crashed with. It was a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend that made a connection with the guy I was with. They met each other, fell in love at first sight, are still married now for 12, 13 years. We got 4 kids. He's an ambassador in Visalis. Ryan Blackport is his name, by the way. And at that point, we were just going to take over the world. We lived in 3 of us in a 2-bedroom. Rent was $700 a month, and we could barely afford it. We lived off pasta, grilled cheese, peanut butter sandwiches. I didn't really like ramen noodles, but they kind of did. And this is what we lived off. Because as a regional director, I was making $1,500 a month. What's your excuse? First thing we did is we recruited everyone we could find, and we put them in a room. I hear people sometimes like, when are you going to launch this market? Well, you know, nobody this, nobody. Just pick a room, pick a date, put 100 people in the room, and you've launched the market. Well, you know, lie. The only thing that I can tell is you don't have the desire. Because if you had a desire, you'd put 100 people in that room. If you were going to lose your house, if you were going to be homeless, they were going to take your cars, if they were going to put your family on the street, if they were going to strip you of everything you owned, if you didn't put 100 people in a room, by 30 days from now, you would put 100 people in a room. There's a desire problem. That's it. a hunger issue, a drive issue. You want to know what it takes? It takes discipline. It takes hunger. It takes drive. It takes a will to win. And it takes the willingness to get knocked down and get back up and knocked down and get back up and knocked down and get back up. Will you get knocked down and get back up? Who will get knocked down and get back up? I remember I started getting parking tickets. My parents are watching this in the back, so I love this one. Couldn't afford to pay the parking tickets. Anyone get some tickets that you can't afford to pay? And they started accumulating and more parking tickets and more. It doesn't matter where you are in San Diego, you're getting a parking ticket. Park in your own spot, parking ticket. What for? I don't know. I just didn't like your car. Parking ticket. So these parking tickets are up to like $700, $800. Car gets towed, can't pay it out. So the car is in my dad's name. So this is just about the point where they're getting sophisticated enough to communicate the California systems of tickets to the Michigan system. And I'll tell you what, Dad finds out there's $800 in unpaid parking tickets, which is about $8 million now today with inflation. And about $8 billion in his mind of frugalness. And the family was breaking apart. You know what else? I dropped out of college. It wasn't that I wasn't good at it. I just wasn't interested. Once I started making a few thousand a month, I'm looking at professors going, I'm almost catching you, like. And then I had an economy teacher. He taught me a word that I'll never forget. The best thing I ever learned in college. It was called opportunity cost. You guys hear me train on it sometimes. He says there's a cost of doing something. There's a cost of what you miss when you do something. I was like, you are right. I'm missing a ton sitting in this class. Gotta go. I'm not recommending to anybody in school to leave school. That was my path. Blake graduated 3 years, top 6 university, 2 degrees, a double major, magna cum laude, while becoming a top producer in network marketing and running his fraternity. Yeah. Blake, magna cum laude, 4-year university and 2 degrees in 3 years. Nick, Lorda let me pass 3 years in a 2-year school. Do the math there. So, dropped out of college, and that was like icing on the cake. Don't come home for Christmas. Because they had worked so hard their entire life to be able to create a lifestyle for us. And the only thing they could think of is, we didn't go to school, you need to go to school. It's the only way to have a better life. But there was other ways. Entrepreneurship is one of those ways. And I knew it. And I knew it deep down. And I know you know what I'm talking about. I know 90% of you, 10% of you are going, I don't know what this guy's talking about. 90% of you know ever since you were a kid that you were meant to do something special. You just didn't know what it was. How many of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about right now? Like, you just know. You just know. When I met Ashley, I'm like, you know. She's like, you know, we knew. You know, it's like I can look at him like, you knew ever since you were a kid. It's like the Matrix. It's like, you know there's something, right? You just know there's something wrong. We just knew. You know too. But what are you going to do when you leave here? You're going to get sucked back into an environment of that's not going to work and that's never going to happen, or good luck with that. All the stuff that Kyle talked about with the Dream Stealers, you're going to get sucked back into that. That's up to you. Or a lot of you guys will be the two cools. The two cools, they call it keeping up with the Joneses. You got these people to impress because they make 6 figures and you make 6 figures. All 6 figures means they're more in debt than everybody else. They spend more money than everybody else. But you're busy making sure they don't make you feel bad, or you're busy that you don't want them to talk bad about you at the picnic. so you don't follow your dreams because, you know, the insurance salesman is going to talk bad about me at the softball game. What? Who cares? A, is he the person that puts food on your table? B, is that the person you want to follow and be like? That's your mentor? That's your hero? C, it's a softball game. Like, most people that are out there spending time watching TV and playing games that don't mean anything to anyone outside of them, they're trying to relive their high school days. That's it. I mean, at some point, the campfire story about how you scored the touchdown in the playoff game 17 years ago. Wow, that was weird. I graduated 17 years ago. I thought 17 sounded like a big number, but I guess not. 25 years ago. Whew. At some point, you got to stop telling that story. Do you know why people still tell that story? They haven't done anything since worth talking about. That's why they still tell that story. But that's not you. You're different. But you know that you are. You always have. So did I. But I was willing to pursue it. I was willing to stop at nothing. I was willing to get back up. I was willing to make every sacrifice. I was willing to sleep in my car after presentations hours away because I couldn't afford a hotel. I was willing to sleep in the other leaders' couches in the marketplaces because I couldn't afford a hotel. I would drive 6, 7, 8 hours, do presentations all across the Bay Area, come drive back down. I'd stop everywhere I had to stop, and I'd sleep wherever I had to sleep. Not because of what it did for me at that moment. Not because I was rich at that moment. Not because I was making money at that moment. It was just a deposit, a deposit, a deposit, a deposit, a deposit. You got to put your time in. You got to put your time in. You got to keep making deposits and deposits and deposits. And it's not deposits of money. It's deposits of sweat equity. It's deposits of discipline. It's deposits of sacrifice. It's deposits of overcoming. It's deposits of no, 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 and you keep going anyways, and you keep going anyways, and you keep going anyways. You have got to put your time in. Stop waiting for something to be handed to you. Stop waiting for something to be given to you. Stop whining because you're not where you want to be yet. Just know you've got to put your time in. Recently I was talking to a top leader. He's like, I've worked so hard the last 60 days. I'm like, sacrificed so much. Like, you haven't sacrificed anything if you say what you want is really true. If you say you want this, the next 60 days is going to look like the next 6 years. Do you want to know why I believe in the last 4 years we've earned $10 million? Because I deposited so much from age 18 to 31 before I made that 10 million. I believe that I sacrificed as much as anybody. You know what people would say to me? Like, Nick, these are your college years. These are the best years of your life. Like, that's a sad story if that's true. Because all I know is, ever since I was 18, my life's got better every single year, and it will every year to come. Not because we made more money this year and that year, because we didn't. Man, I remember getting it to the peak. I'm about to cross the finish line. I'm about to be an ambassador level rank. 3rd year in business. 3rd year in business. My upline leaves to another company. 2 of the owners leave to another company. And they recruit 8 of my top 11. Manipulate them, lie to them. You're just living in Nick's shadow. You're going to be the Nick of the new company. Just all, and these are kids, right? These are my high school buddies. These are my roommates and high school buddies. 8 of my top 11, neutralized, gone. Most of you guys would have said, well, I'm going to go switch companies too so I can still be above them. It's not what I did. I grabbed the 3. One of them's made millions and millions of dollars in this company. He's made so much money in this company, you haven't seen him in 5 years. One of them was Ryan Blackport, the guy I told you I moved to California with. And the other one was this little 19-year-old named Blake Mullen. I didn't quit. You know what I did? I said, well, this is the day I become a leader. It can't get any worse. It can't get any worse than this moment right here. It can't get any worse than the 3 people you live with, your 3 best friends from high school, your upline and the 2 owners of the company, ripping all of it apart that you've worked so hard for. Can't get any worse than that. And you know what? I was right. When the company went out of business, that was hard. Not nearly as hard as when I had 8 of my 11 who I thought were going to be the ones that took me to the promised land. The 11 I thought that would be in this front row right here, gone. That was hard. Company going out of business and us making a decision to fund the bank account and cut our pay and not take any money for years, that was easy. In 2009, when our sales fell from $3 million to $600,000 and we went all in, easy decision. It was hard when 8 of my top 11 left when I was 21. That was hard. When we decided to buy back the company, easy decision. So why are these things, why do we keep doing these things over and over and over again? Because that's what leaders do. You got to make a decision. Who are you? What do you stand for? What are you made of? What are you willing to give up? What are you going to go through to get there? And what story will you tell $10 million later to a crowd full of people to inspire them, to help them live the best life that they can possibly live? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to give up? How much are you willing to get up? How often are you willing to get up? Are you willing to get up over and over and over again? Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to get no's? Are you willing? Because this is a new beginning. This is a new beginning right now. And I need you guys on this stage as quickly as you're ready to make enough deposits. And if you're willing to make the deposits now, then I'll see you on the stage in April. And some of you guys, you're going to make a ton of deposits by April, and you still won't be on the stage, and you'll quit. Well, why? I made the deposits. It's simple, guys. Your skill level's not high enough. You just need more repetition. I got a B- in public speaking in high school. I was deathly afraid to sing karaoke for the first time at age 19. Speaking is just repetition. Recruiting is just repetition. Presentations are just repetition. Leadership is just repetition. But here's what's not repetition: what you stand for. That's not repetition. And if you stand for quitting, then you'll quit before you go after it. If you stand for leaving, then you'll leave before it gets done. If you stand for, I don't have my heart in it, I'm not this, then you'll leave and you'll quit. You got to make a decision. This is what I stand for. And if that's true, then you will not be denied and you will not be turned down. How many of you guys refuse, and I mean refuse to be denied, and you will stop at nothing to have the life of your dreams? I want to invite up our 5-star ambassadors, and our founder lid members. Our founder lid members are our 5-star ambassadors, and I want you guys to look at this team right here, because this is a team of people that have made a decision. This is a team of people that have made deposits for many years. For years, 17, 20, 25. It's not an overnight thing. Who's going to be the next one on this stage? Who will be on this stage one day? You deserve to be? Let me tell you guys something. May I? May I? Let me tell you guys something. These guys right here, myself, Ashley, we aren't different than you. Our challenges weren't different than you. Our lives aren't different than you. What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice for how long? How big is your dream? What will you take? How much will you take? When will you make the decision? When will enough be enough? When will you remember what you remembered when you were a kid? That there's something different about you. And you have a knowing. You know. You may have suppressed it. You may have buried it. But you're here. And you wouldn't be here if you weren't looking for something. You wouldn't be here if you didn't know you were special and that there's a possibility. You wouldn't be here. I need all of you guys to know that it's not only possible, but it's probable. It's probable for those who will keep making deposits and keep making deposits and keep making deposits. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, today, this weekend, this is a new beginning. It's not a new beginning for myself, Blake and Ryan, and restarting this company. It's not just a new beginning for these leaders back here. All of them have to make a choice. Myself, Blake, and Ryan had to make a choice last week. They have to make a choice this weekend. My hope is that I'll see all their faces in April. I'm not a fortune teller. I know where we'll be in 5 years. I know where we'll be in 10 years. I know where we'll be in 20 years. And I don't know where our competition will be. But even if they're around, I don't know if they'll be doing it for the right reasons. And I know why we do what we do. And it feels really, really, really good to know why we do what we do. We will create the company that will create the most transformations in the history of the planet. You will create the company that will create millions upon millions of transformations, tens of millions of them. And we will create entrepreneur after entrepreneur after entrepreneur, people just like you, people that know there's something different about them. They're willing to sacrifice. They're willing to go for it. I don't know how many special people there are in your family or in your friend circle. It might just be you. But it's not you in the world. You got to go find them. You got to go dig. You got to go get rejected and beat up and watch people leave and watch people quit. You got to do it. And if you will, there will come a time, I promise you, and this is a promise that I'm willing to make, that you will be up here and you'll inspire thousands of people just like they have. But you have to do it for the right reasons. It's a new beginning. It's a new beginning for us. It's a new beginning for them. It's a new beginning for every single one of you guys in this room right now. Do it for yourself. If not for yourself, do it for your family. Come here, little one. When I first started, When I first started on this journey 17 years ago, I just wanted to prove people wrong. That's it. Anybody got a list of people you want to prove wrong? Now, I promise you 17 years later, all I want to do is prove people right. And those people are you and your families, my wife, and this little one right here. And I will not stop until we have proved every single one of you right. Stay the course, make the decision. This is the right place to be. Let's get out of here and let's go spread this mission across the world. Thank you so much. We will see every single one of you guys in April. See you in Fort Lauderdale. Thank you very much. Let's go. Let's go.
Fire be loud, another rocket shots.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Turn down for what?